네, 이번 주도 돌아온 한국어 영어 반반 팟캐스트 하프앤하프의 정태용입니다. 반갑습니다.
And I'm Jeep. Welcome to Half and Half. It's good to have you here. And today we're going to have a talk about a movie that I really loved. And I feel like a lot of people don't know about. I might be overrating it. I'm a little worried about recommending a movie that people haven't seen and then they watch it and say, oh, I didn't like it. So I don't know.
네.
But I'll say the English title is Citizen of a Kind is the English title. You can go ahead and explain the Korean title, and then
네,
we'll get
뭐
into it a little more.
아마 썸네일에 써져 있을 것 같긴 한데
yeah, of course.
네, 바로 시민 덕희입니다.
Mm-hmm.
그리고 찌프 말대로 일단 저는 다른 사람들은 모르겠는데
Mm-hmm.
저는 이 영화의 존재 자체도 몰랐어요.
Yeah.
있는 줄도 몰랐어요. 이런 영화가.
Yeah, I'd never heard of it. So I was on a flight. Usually when I'm on a flight, I'll look at what movies they have. If they have any Korean movies, I'll try to watch the Korean movies just so that, I can learn from them. And if it's a bad movie, then I just stop watching it and watch something else.
Mm-hmm.
So on this flight, I watched 3 movies. One of them was Hwangya with Ma Dong-seok, which is like an action post-apocalyptic movie.
포스트-아포칼립스. 네,
Yeah, dystopian movie. And then this movie I'd never heard of. It's called Citizen of a Kind in English. I didn't know what it was. I was so surprised by it. And in my opinion, of all the Korean movies I watched last year, I watched maybe 15 or 20 movies. This was my favorite Korean movie that I watched last year.
그래요?
Yeah, by far.
오.
But it could be that maybe I was on an airplane, I was very tired, and like maybe my like state at the time was just made me like very receptive to it. I don't know.
그쵸, 원래 비행기에서 보면 좀 더 좋잖아요.
Right. Yeah.
네.
So okay, what is your opinion of the movie? You don't have to like it. Just tell me your honest opinion.
네, 저도 존재도 모르다가 찌프가 추천해주고 또 팟캐스트에서 얘기해보자고 해서 마침 넷플릭스에 있길래 봤는데요. 저는 사실 좀 보는 내내 좀 힘들었어요.
Really? Why? Why was that?
너무 보는 사람을 괴롭게 할 만큼 좀 억지
Sure.
긴장을 시키는 것 같았고.
That makes sense. Okay, sure.
네, 왜 이렇게까지 막 괴롭게 하지? 막 이런 느낌이 일단 들었고.
Mm-hmm.
그리고 제가 그 개그 코드를 되게 좀 중요시 하거든요.
Yeah, sure.
그래서 이런 진지한 영화에서도
Mm-hmm.
가끔씩 막 한 번, 두 번씩 좀 웃긴 장면이 좀 잘 사용되면 제가 너무너무 좋아하는데 그런 것들을.
Yeah.
근데 개그 코드가 약간 저랑 안 맞았어요.
It didn't work for you. Okay. The comedy didn't
네.
work for you. All right.
뭔가 억지 좀 과장된 걸로
Okay.
좀 웃기려는 느낌?
Okay. I understand
Well,
what you're saying. That makes sense.
네네.
I will say this is that the other thing I was unsure about is like I don't know if it's like somebody who's Korean, a native speaker watching it. I watched it in Korean with Korean subtitles also. You might I'm trying to think. Your experience of it is different than mine. Like for me, it was like it was just easy enough for me to understand and enjoy and stuff. But there might be things that, like, for example, in the acting, I enjoyed the acting in the movie. But for you, you might perceive it very differently because you're a native speaker. So
맞아. 그 차이가 있을 것 같더라고요.
Yeah.
오징어 게임 봤어요?
Yeah, I've seen it. Just the first season. I haven't seen 2 or 3. Yeah.
그 오징어 게임 시즌 1에도
Yeah.
그 VIP들 중에 외국인들 나오잖아요.
Yes, go ahead.
근데 그 사람들 연기 솔직히 말해서 진짜 못했잖아요.
Yeah. The acting was so bad for the English actors, in my opinion.
네. 근데 그 이 시민 덕희에서
Yeah.
연기는 진짜 잘한 것 같아요, 배우들이.
Oh, okay. You thought the acting was good too.
네.
Okay, good. Okay.
근데 이제 다만 제가 얘기했던 코미디 방식?
Right. Mm-hmm.
그리고 막 소리를 지르거나 막 화를 내거나.
Yelling and being very
네네네.
energetic. Like, let's
그렇죠.
go. Yeah.
그러니까 이제 그게 저는 한국인이라 모르겠는데 좀 그게 어색하게 다가왔고.
I see.
근데 그게 좀 외국인들한테는 문제가 안 됐을 수도 있죠.
I see. I see. Maybe it's like, yeah, not quite Korean style in terms of the humor, and maybe it works better for a wider, like, global audience or something.
네.
Maybe. But but then there's this. Okay, I just want to say one more thing, and then we'll talk about the actual plot of the movie a little bit. But
네, 네, 네.
it seems like this movie was not popular worldwide either. Like, Koreans don't know about this movie, and people outside of Korea don't know about this movie. It's like a very unknown movie, so far as I could tell. I think it's, you know, underviewed, underrated, and probably did not like make its money back. Probably. That's just like my outside observation from like looking for reviews or information about it. It seems like nobody knows about this movie. So yeah.
근데 또 한편으로 저는 좋았던 부분이 뭐냐면 뭐랄까 그 톱 배우
Top pay, like fingernail? What do you say? What is top? Oh no, top. The top. Okay, I got it.
네네네네 그톱 배우라고
야,
톱
야, 야.
스타
오케이,
톱
야.
스타 그 톱 배우가 사실은 없잖아요 그 영화에 그렇지 않아요?
That's right. Yeah, these actors, they've done a lot of work, and they're good actors. And but you're right. There is no stars in the movie. There's no absolute stars. Yeah.
저는 근데 그 부분이 좋았어요.
You think that's good?
네, 저는 개인적으로 저는
Yeah, you know, I mean, generally I like that, but I think it works really well in this movie because, okay, a little bit about the plot. So this is based on a true story, and so because there's no stars in the movie, you can watch this movie without knowing who the actors are, and they feel more like real people, in my opinion. Like, rather than it's this actor doing this role, like you just see them as real people in a way. It feels more realistic to me. Yeah.
맞아요.
Yeah.
그 저는 그 범죄 조직 보스 있잖아요.
Yeah.
그 총책이라고 부르는
Is that what it's called?
그렇지 않아요? 그 조직의 총책
Oh, okay, sure.
총판인가 총책인가 아무튼
Okay, sure.
네 그 마지막 보스 저는 그 아예 누구 아예 모르는 배우거든요.
Yeah, he looks like a real gangster to me. I don't know.
그러니까요.
Yeah.
그래서 와 진짜 위험한 사람 같다.
Right. I assume he's just an actor and probably a nice person in real life, but I really believed that he was a criminal. Like, yeah, he did a good job. He was very scary. Yeah.
네 진짜 잘하더라고요.
Yeah.
네, 저는 그래서 그렇게 그 아예 그 사실 톱 배우가
Yeah.
막 여기 나오고 저기 나오고 막 여기저기 다 나오면 사실 그 캐릭터보다 그 배우로 느껴질 때가 많잖아요.
Right.
네, 근데 찌프 말대로 그런 부분이 없어지니까 그 캐릭터가 진짜 딱 그 악당으로 보이고
Right.
그런 효과가 크더라고요.
That makes sense. Yeah. Although, so I literally 10 minutes ago, I was like, I should look up these actors really quick to see what they've been in. So the main guy character, he was in Extreme Jobs. That's the English title, Extreme Jobs.
네, 극한 직업?
Yeah. He was in that movie, but I don't remember him in it. So I don't know if he was the main character or not. But that's what I saw. I don't remember him. Maybe he was a side character.
너 어떤 역할이요? 어떤 캐릭터가요?
I don't know.
시민덕기에서?
Who was in the fishing scam farm?
그 공명 배우인가?
Yeah.
그 잡혀 있던
Yeah. I thought that that
손
character.
과장 손대리?
Yeah.
나왔어요. 그 멤버 중에 한 명이에요.
Okay. So he was one of the main
극한 직업
characters.
팀에 네, 맞아요.
Okay. But yeah, maybe he's still not a star, but at least he was in a very, very famous movie recently.
그쵸?
Yeah. Although I think Extreme Jobs might have come out after this movie. I think maybe this movie came first and then Extreme Jobs came after. That's my guess. I should check.
확인은 안 해봤는데
What's the
아무튼.
title of Extreme Jobs in Korean? I forget.
극한 직업.
Okay, yeah, that's right.
네.
Okay, let me talk about the plot and then we can talk about other details. I don't want to leave
네.
too much suspense here. Okay, so the plot, there's a woman who works at a laundromat, and she's having financial problems. And so she gets scammed, like by a phone scammer, and loses a lot of money, basically all the money she had left.
네.
And because she loses a bunch of money, it causes a bunch of problems in her life. She can't pay her rent, and she can't take care of her child, and so her child gets taken away, and like all this bad stuff happens to her. She goes to the police, but the police don't help her, or at least not. They don't help her very well, not well enough. She's trying to get their help, they don't help. But then, I'm not going to spoil everything. I just want to give the basic scenario. The person who scammed her, he is also a victim. He's being held captive in a scam facility in China. And he wants to escape, but it's too dangerous for him to escape. He needs help. So he calls her back, the person that he scammed, or one of the many people that he scammed. We never see the other people, but he calls her back and he tries to get her help. And they have to trust in each other. And she still can't get help from the police. So she goes to China to try to get her money back. That's her main motivation at first. I would say, is to get her money. That's I can kind of leave it at that. But basically, she goes to China to figure out how to get her money back, and then the plot goes from there. And there's comedy, there's violence, there's suspense, there's drama, there's all these things mixed together. It's a very I would just say it's a very Korean movie, because Korean movies have a lot of drama and comedy mixed together. Where I would say other countries, especially like Hollywood, will sometimes have it's only comedy, or it's only action, or it's more horror, or it's more suspense. It's more focused around different genres. Where I think Korean, they blend together a little more. So that's my opinion.
네, 네.
Okay, so yeah, I've been talking
네.
for a while. So what do you have to say?
뭐 그 한국어로도 빠르게 정리를 해보자면,
yeah.
그 덕희라는 두 아이의 어머니가 그게 집이 불탔을 거예요.
Yeah.
그 집에 불이 나서 막 돈이 엄청 필요한 상태였는데,
That's right.
근데 은행에서 대출이 안 돼서 막 힘들어하고 있었는데, 그때 보이스피싱 사기범이 이 전화를 해서 그 덕희 씨가 돈을 빼앗긴 거죠. 네, 그래서 막 경찰 찾아가고 하는데 막 경찰도 답이 없어요. 막 일이 너무 많고 막 사람들 막 너무 맨날 찾아오고, 그래서 사실상 못 도와주는 상태라서 그래서 이제 그 덕희 씨가 너무 답답한 나머지 그 막 그러고 그 힘들어하고 있는데, 그 사기를 친 그 은행 직원을 사칭한 그 보이스피싱 사기범이 이 덕희 씨한테 연락을 해서 그 사실 자기도 잡혀 있는데 자기도 잡혀서 막 맞으면서 어쩔 수 없이 사기 친 거라고, 나 좀 도와줘라, 경찰한테 신고 좀 해줘라. 네, 근데 또 그게 또 막 바로 막 뭐 이게 여기 증거가 있어요, 막 뭐 증인이 있어요, 이래서 경찰이 도와줄 수가 없는 거예요.
Right.
그래서 덕희 씨가 중국에 가는 내용입니다. 칭따오죠.
Yeah. So anyway, yeah, that's basically how the plot starts, and then it changes from there, and there's a lot of like interesting like twists and turns. For me, I thought it was really exciting and really intense.
맞아요.
And, so here's what I don't like about the movie. I'll say maybe two things I don't like about the movie after I thought about it more. So the voice phishing guy who's trapped, who's being held captive, his main goal is to escape, right?
네.
Later in the movie, it feels like he has many opportunities to escape, potentially, that he could have taken. But instead of escaping, it seems like he's more focused on a bigger goal of helping other people escape too, or getting the criminals arrested, or to me it's not clear about his motive beyond escaping, because he never talks about it during that time or after that time. it doesn't feel clear. It doesn't feel clear to me that he's like a good person who actually wants to do a good thing. He feels more selfishly motivated just to escape, but he never takes those opportunities. So I find that a little bit weird after I thought about it more.
그렇네요.
Yeah.
아, 근데 그게
Yeah.
저는 그 상황이 좀 복잡한 것 같아요. 왜냐면은 그 친구도
Yeah.
원래 그 일자리를 찾으러 왔다가
Yeah.
그렇게 막 자기가 원치 않았는데 그 납치를 당해서 강제로 막 맞으면서
Yeah.
그 사기를 치는 거면서 동시에
Yeah.
그 범죄 조직이
Yep.
그 가족들 정보를 다 알고 있었잖아요.
Right. So they do have that. It feels like a little bit of a motivating element because he has that other friend who got hurt, who like he wants to help too. But it's not, at least in the movie, it isn't clear to me that they're good friends because he doesn't even seem to like that guy very much. Like they argue a lot, and like he kind of tricks them and doesn't tell him what he's doing. Like they don't have like a shared secret or anything. It feels like
맞아요. 예.
it feels like he's kind of selfish in what he's doing, and so it doesn't feel like he's actually truly motivated to help him either. That's how I felt about it after I thought about it. So
그러니까 참. 아 근데 그게 맞아요. 그게 어색하게 느껴질 수밖에 없어요.
yeah. So
근데 예.
if just for example, if they had changed, so this is based on a true story. So I'm sure there's some real parts and some fake parts. It's mixed. If they wanted to change something, maybe that second character should have been his brother or something, where it was much more clear that he had a secondary motivation. But I don't know.
그
Yeah.
제 추측에는
Yeah.
그 한국어 그냥 그 속어 슬랭 같은 거 중에
Sure.
그 세탁기 돌린다는 말이 있거든요.
Mm-hmm.
그 캐릭터를 뭐 작가나 감독이 세탁기 돌린다는 말인데
Mm-hmm.
그 뭐냐면 막 이전까지 막 나쁜 짓을 하고 막 진짜 그런 별로인 캐릭터를 사실은 착한 애였어.
That's true.
사실은 옆 사람을 도와줄 수 있는 희망이 있는 친구야.
True,
이렇게
true.
그렇게 착하게 보여주기 위해 막 뭐 칼에 맞게 한다던가
Right.
좀 불쌍하게 보이게
Yeah, he's
만드는
kind of pathetic, and he's kind of like like he needs help from somebody, and he's not going to help himself. So like
네.
he's kind of watching out for him. I can kind of see that. Yeah.
근데 그 세탁기를 돌린다는 말은 알겠어요?
Can you explain it a little more? I think I don't know. Maybe.
그래서 이거는
Seitaki is like the washing machine, right?
네네네 그쵸
Toyoda, I'm sure, is running it, right?
네네 세탁기를 돌린다는 말은
Yeah.
그냥 빨래를 한다는 말이거든요.
Yeah. Doing the laundry.
네네 더러운 옷을 세탁기에 넣고
Right.
그 돌리면
Yeah.
옷이 깨끗해지잖아요.
Right. Mm-hmm.
그러니까 이제 그 뭐 만화나 영화나 드라마에서 그 어떤 캐릭터가 되게 나쁜 캐릭터예요. 근데 그런 감독이나 작가가
Right.
그 이 캐릭터를 막 고생시키고 막 누구를 도와주게 만들고
Right.
그렇게 해서 얘가 범죄를 저지른 나쁜 캐릭터긴 하지만
Sure.
뭐 지금은 좀 불쌍한 부분도 있어. 좀 착한 짓도 했어.
Yeah. It's making him more relatable or more what's the word? I don't know how I'd say it in English, but it's making him a what's the word? Relatable character. Empathetic character. Yeah, sympathetic or empathetic character. Yeah.
그렇죠.
Yeah, true.
그 제 생각에는 그냥 감독이 좀 그러고 싶어서 억지로 좀 넣은 건 아닐까? 이런 추측도.
Sure. Yeah.
네.
And then the other small problem I had with the movie was, like I said, if first the motivation of the main character is to get her money, and then the motivation sort of changes where it feels like it's in the title of the movie, the Dokhui. It's like she's doing something that's like justified and for the good of like society. Like she's doing something like bigger than herself. But then at the very, very end, just from what I saw, it feels like her motivation changes again, and suddenly it's just revenge. Like her motivation just becomes revenge at the end. Like, you stole my money, now I'm gonna ruin your life. Like,
아 그런가요?
it felt that way. It felt like she went from doing something that was like very, very like justified and good to suddenly becoming a revenge movie all of a sudden. I was like really surprised by that.
그게 그렇게 보이기도 하는구나.
Yeah.
근데 저는 그렇게 잘 못 느꼈거든요.
Yeah. You didn't feel that way?
네, 저는 그렇게 못 느꼈어요.
Okay.
왜냐면
Yeah.
그 덕희 씨가
Yeah.
그 이 악당이 너무 뻔뻔하니까 그 보통 사람들의 입장에서 너무 억울하잖아요.
Right.
그리고 실제로 덕희 씨처럼 비슷하게 피해를 입은 사람들이 되게 많고,
Right.
그래서 그 사람들을 좀 대신해서 화를 내주는 느낌도 들었고,
Yeah.
그리고 뭐 그 사람 그 나쁜 놈,
Right.
그 나쁜 놈을 잡고 신고하는 게 정의 실현 아닐까요?
Sure.
아닌가?
Yeah.
네.
No, it makes sense. I guess maybe here's another thing I can like add to why I felt this way. I don't know if this is true. This is my personal feeling. It feels like there's a lot of revenge stories in Korean movies and TV. So like the most famous example is obviously like Old Boy, but then you have the, what's it called, the Glory was very famous recently.
네, 더글로리.
The Glory, yeah. There's so many like movies like that in Korean movies that I've seen a lot of articles that say Korean movies are known for telling revenge stories. And I think a lot of that comes from Korean history. There's a lot of reasons for it, but this movie, like 95% of the way through, I was like, this is such an interesting, like, action comedy suspense movie. And then in the last moment, it becomes a revenge movie. I was like, oh, it's just a revenge movie. That's how I felt. Like, oh, maybe I misunderstood this movie the whole time, and it was just a revenge movie. I don't know.
근데 전 이해는 되는데.
Yeah.
근데 저는 그게 그 덕희 씨가 주인공인 영화에서는 그게 최선일 수도 있다 생각해요.
Right, sure.
네, 아무래도 주인공이 그냥 일반 시민이니까 그 일반 시민이 할 수 있는 한에서는
Yeah, just a normal
그냥 그게 좀 최대 아니었을까 이런 생각이 들어요.
I see. Okay.
네.
So the one other thing that I think that gives me a different perspective on this movie maybe is I have a Korean friend who lives in Seoul, who got voice phishing scammed about 7 years ago, before I knew her. I met her after she got scammed and lost a lot of money. I think it was like a boyfriend or romance scam type thing. It was that type. And so as I was watching this movie, I was thinking about her a lot and like the stories that she told me, and thinking about like, would she do this? Would she go to China and like, go get her money back? Or like, what lengths would she go to either for justice or for her own reasons? And also like, as I was watching the movie, I was like, wow, I should recommend this movie to her. And I was like, ooh, I don't think I should tell her about this movie. I was like, oh, maybe I should. And I kept going back and forth on like thinking about her, like, should I tell her about this movie or not? Would she enjoy it or would she hate it? And I kept thinking about that. And so that made it feel very real to me because I know people who have had a similar situation. So
저라면 너무 싫을 것 같은데요.
Yeah, that's what I thought by the end. But I did end up recommending it to her because I wanted her to decide. I said, here's this movie. Maybe you don't want to watch it, but if you want to, you should check it out. So I don't know if she's watched it yet. Yeah.
제가 만약에 보이스 피싱 피해 사실이 있었다면,
Yeah.
저는 이 영화 그 관련된 거 보기도 싫을 것 같아요. 그냥 그 생각나서.
Yeah.
저는 못 볼 것 같은데. 참 보이스 피싱 그런 걸 진짜 왜 하는지 모르겠어요.
Well, money. That's why.
그러니까요.
Yeah.
그렇게까지 벌어야 하는지.
Yeah.
네.
So then the other major theme in the movie, I would say, was about corruption, I guess. Like in terms of the government and the police wouldn't help her, or
그쵸.
were like what's the word, inept, like unable to do their job properly. like they were
무능함?
they were bad at their job as policemen. Like
그쵸. 뭐 그렇게 나오죠.
yeah, and it felt like I don't want to say it was unresolved, but the police in the movie never felt like they were good, even by the end. It never felt like they were successful or good at their job or doing the right thing. They were always just kind of failing the entire time, which is fine. I think that's the whole message in the movie, I guess. Maybe I don't know what the message was, but like they didn't want the police to be portrayed well, and it seems like it's mostly accurate in terms of like at least what was happening at the time within that real story. Yeah.
그게 맞아요.
Yeah.
거기서 경찰들이 잘하는 게 거의 없잖아요.
Yeah, it's hard to find good policemen.
근데 제가 그 어떤 기사를 봤냐면 그 이게 실제 사건을 모티브로 해서 만들어진 영화라고 했잖아요. 그래서 실제로 그 덕키 씨의 모델이 된 사람이 있고, 그래서 그분이 그 실제로 그렇게 보이스피싱 사기꾼들의 정보를 경찰에 제공했었다는데, 근데 그 당시에 진짜 그 포스터가 있었대요.
Oh yeah, really?
그 포스터 있잖아요. 그 보이스피싱
Oh yeah,
정보를
because
주면
they put it up. Yeah.
그 1억을 드립니다 이렇게.
Yeah.
그 돈을 준다고 했잖아요. 그 포스터에.
Yeah.
근데 실제로 그 덕키 씨의 캐릭터 모티브가 된 그 피해자분이 그렇게 진짜 경찰한테 정보를 제공했는데 돈을 못 받았대요.
Right. Yeah, she didn't get the money. Yeah.
네, 그리고 그걸 담당했던 경찰이 그 덕키 씨 그분의 도움을 뭐 그 마치 자기가 한 것처럼 막 자기가 막 잘해서 한 것처럼 그 했다는 얘기를 들었거든요.
Right.
그러니까 기사로 봤거든요.
Yeah.
네네. 그러니까 덕키 씨의 도움은 쏙 빼놓고. 그래서 그때의 분함을 그때의 그 분노와 화남을 그 영화에 좀 표출한 게 아닐까.
I see. Yeah.
네, 실제로 그런 일이 있었으니까.
Right. Yeah.
네.
Yeah, that could be the truth of it.
근데 저는 좋은 경찰이 많다고 생각해요.
That's true. Yeah. There is.
네, 저는 훨씬 많다고 생각을 합니다.
Yeah, I wish there was more. Yeah. But here's the thing that I also was thinking about is so because of my friend who got scammed, and because I've talked to a lot of Koreans about this, there's been times where like whether it was phishing scam or some other scam, when my friends had talked to me about it, my Korean friends, they're like, oh, and then I went to the website and I reported this crime, or I went to the website and reported this link or this email or whatever. And this was a few years ago, but it really shocked me when I heard that, because in USA, you don't report phishing scams. Like if you lose money, you don't ever go to the police because they're not going to help you. Like there's nowhere to report like we would call it cyber crimes, but there's nowhere to report cyber crimes in the USA. That's not a thing. And so I was like really surprised that Korea does more than zero, like does anything at all. Like that to me was like, wow, they actually like care about cybercrime. That's interesting. But then watching this movie, I was like, okay, this is, set maybe 10 years ago. So it's interesting to see maybe this was when cybercrime started becoming taken more seriously, and now there actually is a real way to report it where there wasn't previously. So I don't know.
그 영화에 실제 사건이 있었을 때는 진짜 좀 그런 도움을 거의 받기 힘들었을 것 같아요.
Right, true.
네. 근데 뭐 물론 아직도 갈 길이 많지만 아직도 그 더 나아져야 할 부분들이 많지만 그래도 예전보다는 훨씬 사정이 나아진 것 같아요.
Right, true. Yeah.
그리고 실제로 최근에도 한국에서 그 이런 대규모 범죄 조직 그 소탕하는 일이 있었잖아요.
Yeah, I heard recently, like, was it Cambodia or something?
맞아요.
Yeah, it was a really big story recently.
네,
And
네.
and that came out after this movie. So this movie came out like 2 years ago, and then that Cambodia story was like last year. So
네,
yeah, that's crazy.
맞습니다.
Yeah. What was I gonna say about that? Cambodia. Oh, I don't remember. I don't remember what I was gonna say. Sorry. Yeah.
그 한국 뭐 미국 캐나다도 그런지 모르겠는데
Mm.
그 한국은 이런 보이스피싱
Mm.
전화가 좀 종종 오는 것 같거든요.
Yeah. It's like in Canada and USA there's voice phishing also, and it's also it gets worse every year. I would say, like some people are better at like recognizing and avoiding scams, but they mostly focus on older people who aren't like educated on how to like recognize these types of scams. And so, yeah, old people get really taken advantage of in our society, and get scammed. It's really horrible.
그 제 엄마도 당할 뻔했어요, 사실.
Oh, really? Wow, that's
네,
terrible.
네. 저도 전화를 받은 적이 있어요, 한번.
Did you lose money?
아니요.
Oh, you just okay. I see. You recognized it was a scam, and then
저는 그랬죠. 저는
and avoided it. Yeah. What about
네.
did your mom get scammed?
그게 당할 뻔했어요.
Oh, that's terrible.
어떤 일이 있었냐면,
Almost. 뻔했어. Almost.
네, 당할 뻔했어요.
Yeah.
그러니까 이게 우리 엄마가
Mm-hmm.
그러니까 항상 하는 얘기가
Mm-hmm.
그 일 전에도 했던 얘기가
Mm-hmm.
나는 이런 거 안 당한다. 내가 이런 거 당하겠나. 뭐 이런 말을 항상 입에 달고 다녔거든요.
Right.
지금도 그래요. 자기는 절대 그런 사기에 안 당할 거라고 생각해요.
Mm-hmm.
누구나 그러죠, 근데.
Right.
저도 그러고 찌푸도 그럴 거예요, 아마.
Yeah. It could happen to anybody. Yeah.
아니요. 그러니까
Okay.
자기는 안 당할 거라고 생각해요.
Okay. I see.
자기는 똑똑하기 때문에
Okay.
왜 보이스피싱에 그런 걸 당해? 막 이렇게 생각을 하거든요.
I see.
근데 그 저랑 엄마가
Mm-hmm.
같이 밥을 먹고 있었는데
Mm-hmm.
그 제 누나
Mm-hmm.
제 누나는 같이 안 살아요. 제주도에 있거든요.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
제주도에서 결혼을 하고 잘 살고 있는데
Sure. Mm-hmm.
근데 그 제가 하필 그 순간
Mm-hmm.
누나랑 카톡을 하고 있었어요. 원래 연락을 자주 하진 않는데
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
그 누나가 용건이 있어서 뭐 저랑 뭐 물어보고 얘기를 하고 있는데
Yeah.
그 엄마가
Mm-hmm.
갑자기 핸드폰 보면서 뭐 니네 누나 또 뭐 어디서 사고를 쳤는지 막 이러면서
Uh-huh.
또 누나 이번에 뭐고 이러면서 막 뭐 투덜거리는 거예요.
Oh. Uh-huh.
그래서 아니 누나는 지금 저랑 평화롭게 카톡하고 있는데 뭔데요? 이렇게 물어보니까
Whoa.
보니까 그때는 몇 년 전이었거든요.
Right.
그 누나
This was
핸드폰 번호도
many years ago. But yeah, go ahead.
네네네 그 누나 카톡 그 어카운트도 아니었어요.
Really?
네네 그냥 누나 핸드폰 번호도 아니고
Really?
근데 그냥 완전히 다른 휴대폰 번호로
Okay. Mm-hmm.
그냥 그리고 나 회원인데 나 뭐 누구인데 이름도 얘기 안 하고
Okay.
그냥 문자가 그냥 엄마 나 이런 일 뭐가 생겨서 급하게 뭐가 필요해 이렇게.
Right.
근데 우리 엄마는 아무 의심도 없이
Yeah.
근데 그냥 답을 했던 거죠.
Wow. Just responded immediately. Yeah.
네네네.
Without thinking about it. I mean, yeah. I mean, okay. I see. Yeah. How it could sometimes.
그러니까 그때 제가 옆에
Yeah.
없었으면
Yeah.
그냥 걸리는 거죠.
Right. That's crazy.
네. 근데 참 36분 지금 얘기했는데 영화 얘기를 해야 되는데 보이스피싱 얘기를 해서
Yeah, true. Okay. Well, I don't think there's too much else to say about the movie except that I do recommend it. I think, if you're an intermediate or advanced Korean learner, like I think it's an enjoyable movie. It was fun.
네, 뭐
I don't know
재밌을
if you
것 같아요.
recommend it or not, but
저는 그냥
Yeah.
그 킬링 타임용으로
Sure. If you have time for it, yeah.
네네 그리고 좀 긴장하고 싶은 사람들을 보면 좋을 것 같습니다.
Right.
좀,
Yeah.
좀 서스펜스.
if you're on a plane and you have nothing else to do, definitely watch this movie. But yeah, so actually, I will say this. Yeah, the suspenseful parts, like for some people, like having that feeling of being in suspense, they don't like it. Like it does. They don't enjoy that feeling. For me, I love that type of movie when it like actually makes me like feel like really tense and like what's gonna happen. Like I love that feeling, and so for me, I enjoyed that part.
네, 뭐 그렇습니다. 저는 그냥 가볍게 보기 좋았다.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
네, 그렇게 생각하고요. 그리고 그 사실은 그 보이스피싱 얘기를 조금만 더 하자면
Sure.
그 이제 저는 제 개인적인 생각으로는 그 가까운 미래에 진짜 그 지옥이 펼쳐질 거라고 생각하거든요. AI를 활용한 사기 때문에.
Yeah.
그래서 모르잖아요. 예전에 우리 엄마한테 왔던 사기처럼 그냥 진짜 허술하게 그냥 모르는 핸드폰 번호로 그 딸내미 이름도 모르는데 그냥 엄마 이렇게 하는 그런 허술한 게 아니라
Right.
그 이제는 진짜로 제 번호로 제 목소리로 엄마한테 전화를 걸어서
Yeah. Like they could potentially fake it more just by stealing your identity and voice and face and all those
그렇잖아요.
things. Yeah.
그러니까요. 저는
Yeah.
그게 진짜 벌어질 수도 있다고 생각을 해요.
True. I think that's a valid concern. Here's why I think maybe not, or I'm not sure about it. So in the case where, like, I'll just take your mom's case, for example, where she was getting a text from her daughter. The voice fisher's goal, or the texter's goal, is to send that message to 10,000 people, and then maybe 2 of them get scammed. Right? It's very, very cheap to send 10,000 messages, but to actually find somebody's like their face and their voice identity, to find that specific person, and then go to that specific person's parents, and then try to use the scam on that person. It would cost a lot of money. Even with AI, it costs a lot of money to like generate what they would need to do. And and then like the scam might or might not succeed. So I don't know if like it actually pays off to like do those targeted things. So we call that spear phishing. So there's phishing and there's spear phishing. Spear phishing is when you choose a specific target and do a specific scam.
창처럼 이렇게
Yeah.
하는구나.
But for spear phishing, you usually want to choose a target that you know that you can successfully scam and that has a lot of money.
네.
So that's not you.
근데요.
Yeah, go ahead.
그건 맞거든요.
Yeah, sure.
그건 맞는데
Yeah.
근데 제가 엄마한테 조심하라고 하는 이유는 딱 하나예요.
Sure.
제가 유튜브를 해서
Yeah, they could maybe choose people whose face and voice are out there a lot. Yeah.
네.
Right.
저는 학습할 수 있는 그 오디오 자료가 너무 많아요.
Interesting.
그래서 이거 저는 그 팟캐스트나 그 뭐 이거나 그러니까 그 한국어 팟캐스트나 영어 팟캐스트나 한국어 가르쳐주는 채널이나 한 몇백 시간은 제 목소리가 있을 거거든요.
Right. Yeah. There's hundreds of examples out there now.
네. 그러니까요.
Yeah.
제 목소리 따내기는 그리고 제 말하는 이 습관도
Right.
따내기는 나중에는 굉장히 쉬울 것 같아요.
True. Fair point.
근데 뭐 그 저 말고도 이런 일들이 누구한테나 생길 수 있다고 생각하는데 왜냐면 그 스피어 피싱도
Right.
제 생각엔 기술이 정말 발전하면 가격이 떨어질 것 같아요.
True. Yeah.
네.
Yeah.
저는 여기에 대한 대비책을 미리 만들어놨습니다.
대비책? What is that?
그 나중에 일어날 수도 있으니까 그 일이
Yeah.
그 미리 그 거기에 맞설 수 있는 거기에 싸울 수 있는 방법을 만들어 놓는 거예요.
Okay.
그걸 준비하는 방법.
Yeah. What is it?
그 이거를 아니 뭐 그 방법은 말해줄 수 있어서 괜찮은데
Yeah, yeah.
이걸 듣고 계시는 여러분들도 그 뭐 나이가 좀 드신 부모님이나 뭐 좀 그런 사람들이 있다면 좀 공유를 하면 좋겠거든요. 이 방법을 찌푸도.
Sure. I'll listen.
그리고 이 방법은 이 방법은 지금 해야 돼요.
Okay.
지금 해야 돼요. 기술이
Alright.
더 발전하기 전에.
Yeah, you need to do this now before it becomes more of a problem. So prepare for it and have a plan to prevent this kind of problem.
네네네.
Yeah.
기술이 더 싸고 더 좋아지기 전에.
Okay. Yeah, makes sense.
뭐냐면은요.
Before the technology gets better.
네, 뭐냐면은 이게 사실 되게 간단한 건데 저랑 엄마만 알 수 있는 암구호를 만들었어요.
Right, sure. Make a secret code that only you and your family would know, that you've never
네,
written
네.
down, that you've only spoken about. Yeah.
그쵸?
Yeah, yeah.
그쵸? 근데 그 암구호가
Yeah.
그 예상할 수 있는 단어면 안 돼요.
Right. Something
만약에
unusual, something weird.
네네. 그러니까 이 조합이 이상한데
Yeah.
일반인이 보면 모르는 건데
Yeah.
그 단어들의 조합이 그 엄마랑 저는 아는 조합인 거예요. 의미가 있는 조합.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
그래서 우리는 잊어버리기 쉽지 않고
Right.
대신에 다른 사람들은 이 두 단어를 놓고 보면 무슨 조합이지?
Right, right.
이렇게 느끼는.
Right. So they can basically test if it's the right person or not by saying the secret code, and then you would have your secret code response that you would say back. Makes sense. Yeah. So actually, that was the thing that I was gonna say that I forgot. That is that not related to this specifically, but a long, long time ago, like when I was young, we would have a similar system where. So this was for the case of like, if you were at school, for example, and some adult comes and says, "Oh, your mom wanted me to take you home. Come with me." You would have a secret code to be like, "Okay, blah blah blah," and then they would respond the thing. Like basically, don't trust anybody, but like families would have those secret codes for the same reason. And so yeah, I think it's a good strategy. I think to do that.
네.
Yeah.
그러니까 이거 진짜 듣고 계시는 여러분들도 꼭 하나 만들어 두시길 바랍니다. 왜냐하면은 진짜 이런 때가 올 수 있어요. 진짜
Yeah, true.
엄마랑 제가 떨어져 있는데 그 진짜 엄마 핸드폰 번호로 저한테 전화가 와서 엄마 목소리로 저한테 전화를 걸어서
Right.
막 이런 일이 있는데 빨리 진짜 시간이 없으니까 빨리 돈 보내야 된다.
Right. Right.
그래서 막 영상 통화까지 했는데 진짜 엄마가 있을 수도 있어요.
Right. Right.
근데 그러면 그때 그 암구호를 얘기하는 거죠. 근데 그때도 엄마가 그 암구호를 잘 얘기하면 그러면 이건 진짜 급박한 상황이구나 하고 도와줄 텐데
Right.
뭐 만약에 뭐 예를 들어 뭐 진짜 아무 얘기나 하자면 뭐 카메라 마사지 암구호가 카메라 마사지인데 만약에 뭐 페이스타임을 했어요. 엄마예요.
Right. Right.
근데 엄마 카메라 이렇게 했어요. 근데 그러면 마사지라고 얘기해야 되는데 만약에 그때 카메라 지금 보고 있잖아.
Right. Right.
그러면 이건 우리 엄마로 보이지만 엄마가 아닌 겁니다.
Right. Right.
이게
Yeah.
이게 한 10년 15년 뒤에 여러분의 가족을 지킬 수도 있습니다. 이 방법이.
Yeah. 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 I think maybe this is a good note to wrap up on, but I think that maybe that's one of the main messages in the movie is that you should take initiative to protect yourself and to help yourself, because the government, the law enforcement isn't going to do it for you necessarily. You might not always get their help. So you have to take some precautions and you have to do some work on your own, unfortunately, but that's how it is. You know,
맞아요.
there's more good people in the world than criminals. So if all the good people are doing their work, then the criminals have a harder time. But it'd be nice if the government did something too. So I will say that.
그렇죠. 당연하죠.
Yeah.
그래야죠, 사실.
Cool. Well, anyway,
더 좋은 사회가 되길 바라며.
cool. Well, anyway, that's pretty much all I have to say. But yeah,
네,
was
뭐
there anything
저도-
else for you?
저도 많이 얘기한 것 같습니다.
Okay, cool. Yeah, let's wrap up.
네, 그러면 이 정도에서 하고 이렇게 영화 감상회 콘텐츠 좀 재밌는 것 같아요.
Yeah, it's fun.
이번이 두 번째잖아요.
Yeah. Second time we've talked about a movie.
네.
First
네.
time, so we did K-pop Demon Hunters because I was like, it's super popular, and now I'm doing this movie which nobody knows about. So very different, but yeah, it was fun talking about it. Yeah.
네, 네. 뭐 그래서 재밌었습니다. 다음에 또 한번 해보면 좋을 것 같아요.
Yeah, we'll do it again sometime.
네, 그러면은 이쯤에서 저희는 물러 가보겠습니다. 저는 반반 팟캐스트 하프앤하프의 정태용이었습니다. 감사합니다.
And I'm Jeep. You've been listening to Half and Half, and thanks. We'll see you next time. Bye bye.